Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Today, I'd like to take a couple seconds to talk about data. One of the first things we had to do when we formed the Tech Hub Coalition is to say, how do you measure tech, right? And we chose CompTIA Cyber States report because it measured both the tech industry plus tech occupations. And so as a result, I've gotten really deep into the data as the latest Cyber States report came out about a week ago. In fact, I just wrote an article for the Wisconsin Tech Council on kind of what we saw on the trends around Wisconsin. But today I really want to dive into Milwaukee, and I have about 4 or 5 key points I want to make about what we saw in the data and what that leads us to. So the first of which is, there were several key points in that report that pointed to why we have a Tech Hub Coalition to start with. So back in 2018, there was a custom report that was done that predicted by the year 2025, we would have up to 31,000 unfilled jobs in tech. And so looking at the Cyber States report, there were a couple of key data points that you can map to that. The first of which is the attrition rate of how many people are leaving tech on a regular basis due to retirements or whatever reason. And that's about 7% a year. And the second is the growth of tech, which is at about 2.5% a year. With a workforce of about 80,000 here in the Milwaukee region, that comes out to about 5,600 per year with attrition and about 2,000 a year in growth. So about 38,000 in the next 5 years that could go unfilled if we don't continue to grow our tech workforce. Now, in a macroeconomic terms, probably close enough to know that we've got to focus in this area to continue the economic growth that we would see based on the tech industry and tech occupations. The second key thing that it really reinforced is it reinforced the importance of a tech industry to a regional economy. So in 2020, in the year of a pandemic, tech actually grew, right? When we saw many of the industries decline. And the second thing is it's predicted going forward to continue to be the third highest or fastest growing area or industry in the country, after only healthcare and professional services. And the third point of that is there's a big downstream economic impact from tech. For every job in tech, it creates 4.8 jobs, servicing the tech industry. So what we saw is that those cities and states that had a higher percentage of tech industry did better in the macroeconomic measurements. The third thing we saw is the dependence of the Milwaukee region, specifically on embedded tech roles. So across the state, the overall net tech jobs actually declined 0.9%, and in the 7-county Milwaukee region, it declined 0.6%. And that directly aligns to the trends that we saw across all the other Midwestern cities and states. And there were really a couple of contributing factors. One is that our net tech jobs is much more focused on embedded tech roles into other industries that were much more heavily affected by the pandemic. And the second thing is that our tech industry has a heavier influence or reliance on those traditional industries as well. And as a result, saw some of that constriction. But we did see bright spots. One of the bright spots we saw is that our use of emerging technologies increased pretty significantly. And that's measured by job postings that are asking for those emerging technologies. We saw a higher number of tech companies here in the region. We added 167 tech companies into the region. And third, we had we were the third highest city relative to the concentration of women in tech. So at 28%, that's good, but certainly not enough to get us to representation. But at the same time, we saw that we have work to do. We have work to do in the recruitment of tech companies here to the region, and also, of course, in the diversity, increasing the diversity of our tech talent, especially to increase individuals of color and also our female population in order to get representation equal to our overall workforce. Data is really interesting, right? It is so critical for helping us measure our past, understand root cause, and then to be able to set a course for the future. So, as I've gotten deep into this, if there are questions or comments that you have on this data, I'd be happy to answer them and look forward to talking to everybody. Have a great day.